Peace, this is Brother Hot Tim. I'd like to welcome you to the show. We on and popping, and mercy. Modern technology is just kicking me in the butt. But hey, I'm getting it, and I'm going to have it down, and eventually we're going to be able to enjoy this show without any problems. So, now, first off, before I jump into the show, I want to apologize because, I'm late. Because it's just me. I don't have a production team. But, I'm loving it, because I'm going to make my fortune doing this because I love doing it. And I'm getting better and better every day. And I love the fact that you have come out. I want to thank all those that may be coming to the hangout. You can feel free to hit me on my chat because it's up and I can see it on my Google Plus page. You can find me on Google Plus. Just look up Hatim, HA2TIM. Also, you can listen. Hopefully, if you're not listening already, you can find this on my blog. Go to www.giamijourney.com, as well as find me on Spreaker. Spreaker/www.spreaker.com/HA2TIM, and just tune in to the live broadcast. I want to welcome everybody, and you can chat with me on Spreaker as well, because I'm trying to mix all this up. I actually got the camera up, and I'm broadcasting live right now on YouTube, so I know there's going to be some problems that rise up out of this, but I'm going to figure it out. We're going to work it out. I'm going to figure out how to get the processor or whatever I need to make sure that I'm able to talk and people can hear my show, because it's broadcasting on YouTube too, so you can hear my show on YouTube. Now, the reason I'm doing the Google Hangout is because I want to give people an opportunity to let me know what's on their mind, what they're interested in talking about. I'm also going to be looking up some news on my Google Plus page, and be also checking on Facebook as well to make sure everything is flowing. But I want to welcome you, and I want to thank everybody that's listening. Now, the music today, of course, I got some more Fela. I'm going to throw some Fela on, some Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong, you'll see, and you're going to enjoy it. Erykah Badu, and we're going to kick it. We're going to lay it back. Oh, I also got some old school stuff that I'm going to put on. That's going to be my next song. I ain't even going to tell you what it is. It's so old, it's just ridiculous, but I like it, and I want to get out there. And this brings me to the point that I love, where I talk about those institutions and those people that support me. And I want to make sure that all of y'all get this so that y'all can start supporting those that support the show that you listen to. Also, I want to make sure that I get good information out. So the first thing I want to send shouts out to is Oxy Water, the world's first oxygen-enhanced mineral water. Oxy Water has Oxy Water Black, Oxy Water Pink, Cherry Pomegranate, Island Citrus, Passionberry. And you go and find out more about Oxy Water and why it's such an excellent drink. For those people who are trying to get in shape, for those people who need to stay up but you don't want the caffeine, because I crashed last week because I was drinking too much caffeine, but that's a whole nother story that I kind of told when, if you was listening to my Saturday broadcast. But go to www.tryoxywater.com and find out some more information about this fabulous drink. All right, I also want to send out some shots to Orange 82 that specialize in electronic music. They gave me the intro that you heard. I have had enough, and just go there. I call it surfing music because you can listen to that music and basically stay on the internet all night without having to worry about it. So go on, check out Orange 82 and support them. Also, I'm sending out shots to Unidad Capoeira. I'm running late because we had practice, because I practice on Friday night. So some of the Fridays I'm going to be late because I have practice. And Monitor Dentista is visiting us this weekend. We got workshops going on. So those interested, feel free to hit me up to find out more. If you're in Columbus, 614-594-9422. Also, you can send me a text message on that number as well, and it'll get to me as well, and I know what's going on. Also, Unidaji Capoeira is located in Cleveland, Columbus, Dayton, Toledo, Chicago, um, and Decatur, Madison in Alabama. So it's growing and we building. So come check us out. Also, make sure you check out New Harvest Urban Arts Complex. This is another piece, and I'm gonna go a little bit into what I'm gonna be doing with New Harvest Cafe. I want to give thanks to the Shisha Lounge for allowing me to broadcast. They keeping me up on my coffee, um, keeping me up on my hookahs while I do my shows. So the support is building, and we're growing. So check it out. Um, Shisha Lounge, 2369 North High Street. If you get up here within the next 45 minutes, you can help me with the show. Make sure you check out my books. You go to my blog, www.giamijourney.com. And on there, you got my books, Players Pyramid. All my books are basically based on self-development or self-mastery, the self-mastery concept, learning to master yourself. Of course, there's no shortcuts to that, but it's a process. It's processes that you can follow, processes that you can adapt in your life and go on and build. So we got the Players Pyramid, we got the Giami Journey workbook, which is a compilation of proverbs and quotes that I collected over a 2-year period that you can look at, and it gives you some steps that you can follow to use these proverbs to improve your life, and also the Lost Art of Storytelling. The Lost Art of Storytelling is a book about stories. It's stories that I have compiled, some I have written, and the challenge is to find a lesson in the story for you, because you'll find that the lesson that's there for you may not be the lesson that everybody is getting. So make sure, you check it out and support the journey, because the more you support the journey, the more I can get you the information that you need through my blog and also my radio shows. So, welcome, 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 welcome. Now, I'm going to go into our first cut. Of course, I love Fela, so we're going to go into some Fela real quick. And here we go.
water you go use. To ba fe sebe omi lo ma lo. If you want cook soup, now water you go use. Tori bangbo na omi lero re o. If your head is hot, now water go cool 'em. Tomo bandagba omi lo ma lo. If your child they grow, water him go use. If water kill your child, now water you go use. To me back mama when omi no lo ma lo. Go someone to le shake, oh ma lo mi oh. Nothing without water. Go someone to le shake, oh ma lo mi oh. Omi you water. Water. You don't get any. Omi you water. Water. You don't get any. If you fight them unless you wonder. Water. You don't get any. I say water no get any. Water. You don't get any. If you fight them unless you wonder. Water. You don't get any. Omi you water. Water. You don't get any. They talk of black man power. Water. You don't get any. They talk of black power. I say. Water. I say. You don't get any. I say water no get enemy. Water. You don't get any. If you fight them unless you won't die. Water. You don't get any. I say water no get enemy. Water. You don't get any. I say water no get enemy. Water. You don't get any. Omi you water. Water. You don't get any. Omi
welcome you on the journey. This is Brother Hot Tim. We just got done listening to the great Fela Kuti, Water, No Get Into Me. Now, I just have to say this before I get into my thing. Fela, I kind of wish I started listening to him earlier in my life, but all things happen when they're supposed to. This is an excellent artist, and he was one that believed that artists are the vanguard of revolution, and he uses music to attempt to make changes in his country, but his influence has stretched across the waters and hit Europe and hit America. And I'm so glad that I'm starting to listen to him, and I'm building up my library. So you're gonna hear a lot of Fela Kuti and a lot of other artists like him. Now, let me get into the future interviews, and then we can get to the subject that I came to talk about tonight. Now, I got some upcoming interviews that's going to be dynamic. I got a master drummer by the name of Mark Lomax that I'm going to be interviewing. It's going to be a podcast because unless I'm able to catch him in person, I'm not going to really be able to do a live interview with him because last Saturday I had the chance, but I was tired. I had to get home. I don't know what was going on last week, but my energy was very, very low Friday. That's why I didn't do the show. And on Saturday, I didn't get a chance to interview him, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. I'm also have an interview with one of my young brothers. Actually, he's one of my spiritual sons. He's my first spiritual son, by the name of Hassani, and he's gonna give us the lowdown on what goes on behind those walls that we call prisons, that are my African American brothers and your brothers feel. It's amazing to me how we African Americans are less than 12% of the population, but we make up over 50%, if not higher, of the prison population. And this brother is going to let us know what's going on behind the walls, and I'm going to interview him about some of the things that he is experiencing since he served his time, because it is not fair that in this country you go and you pay for a crime, but you continue paying for that crime for the rest of your life. So why even go to prison? Is the shit's not working? Motherfuckers can't go in and get changed. Maybe we might need to consider shutting them motherfuckers down because they're not working. You know what I'm saying? So, that's my opinion, and hopefully it rubs some of you the wrong way so that you can sign off so I can hear what you think. Now, a new show that I'm going to be doing is called Live at New Harvest. I done partnered back up. I done basically went back home, and I'm partnering back up with my family up at New Harvest, mainly Quojo Ababio, who has in the community here in Columbus developed a cultural art center, an urban cultural art center in the heart of the hood, where every weekend he brings in live acts so that people can experience live music, plays, and many cultural things that help people build up. Now, we talk about building community, but there's no way that you can actually build community without that cultural and that art element. That's another reason I constantly play Fela on my show and other artists like him, because I'm looking to inspire some young people. Now, this is the tirade that I was going to go on, and I'm going to keep it short so that I can squeeze in some more music, because I know y'all be like, shut up, Brother Hot Tim, but it don't matter. It's my damn show. But anyway, I was trying to listen to the radio. My son, he likes, I ain't going to say the station because I don't want to dog nobody out, but he likes listening to the quote-unquote hip-hop station. I try to keep the radio on NPR, but every now and then I got to let him do him. You know what I'm saying? Because my parents allowed me, my parents and my grandparents gave me room to do me, and it didn't harm me. Now, it put me in harm's way, but because of my family's prayers and the love and care and the ability to be able to listen and respect my elders, I was able to make it through. And I'm having faith in my son to be able to experience for himself what's going on. Now, I'm listening to these radio stations, and this thought hit me. Why is it that you have an urban radio station, and on the urban radio station, you don't hear nothing but quote-unquote urban music? How are we supposed to expand our children's minds? Now, I try to do the NPR, but think about this. Hip-hop is the amalgamation, is the combining of the past. Like I told you, hip-hop is Sankofa in action, going back and fetch it, because hip-hop comes from a culture of individuals that grew up with a certain music, went back, brought that music back, cut it up, and put lyrics over top of it. They took something old, they went back and fetched something from the past and brought it back up. Now, if our kids are not being exposed to this type of music, this old school music, what we call old school now, jazz, some rock, some different things, how are they going to grow and develop? How are they going to get to where we need them to be in a world that is fastly going global? We want our children to be global. We want our children to get different types of music, but I don't have to complain about that because I have been blessed with the ability to have a station and do exactly what I'm doing. I'm putting on different music so that I can inspire the next generation. Not only next generation, some of the people in my generation and maybe some of the older ones to go out there and start bringing out that old music so that our kids can hear it. So now, while we talking about old music, let me go and share this old tune. Now, I ain't even going to introduce this one. This one is just so hilarious, but it's so good that I want to make sure you hear it. You ready? Here we go.
Here's a story about Minnie the Moocher. She was a red-hot hoochie coocher. She was the roughest, toughest, frail, but Minnie had a heart as big as a whale. Hide, 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 hide. Whoa. She loved him, though he was cocky. He took her down to Chinatown, and he showed her how to kick the gong around. Hide, 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 hide. Oh. Had a dream about the King of Sweden. He gave her things that she was needing. He gave her a home built of gold and steel, a diamond car with the platinum wheels. Howdy, 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 howdy. 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 Skippy, bindy, go, bubbly, give it, bindy, bubbly, whoop. He gave her his townhouse and his 6 racing horses. Each meal she ate was a dozen courses. She had $1 million worth of nickels and dimes. She sat around and counted them all 1,000,000 times. Heidi, 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 Heidi. Heidi, 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 Heidi. Whoa.
I hope you like that. Look, but that's back in the day when people had to actually make music, you know. So I'm bringing on a musician, Mark Lomax. So check out the podcast, and I'm going to get with him about some of the music. All right, in the news, I want to announce the White House gives thumbs down to the idea of building a Death Star. We want to go to space, but we don't want to build a Death Star. Now, I think that would provide a lot of jobs for a lot of motherfuckers that need jobs. And we could actually use some of the people that we send into prison to go up there and build that shit. When they, you know, if you got a felony, you can't steal nothing in outer space. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you want to treat motherfuckers like that, so we might need to build a Death Star. But this is serious news. The White House says building a Death Star would be an out of this galaxy waste of money. Not only because it's against government policy to blow up planets, but it's also because the United States already has access to space stations as well as laser-wielding space robots. What the fuck? Listen, you know I'm just joking about building. No, well, maybe I'm not joking about building a fucking Death Star. But, I mean, don't we already have a Death Star? We run around telling people they need to have democracy when democracy don't necessarily fit in with their culture. So, hey, we might as well go and have a Death Star on the planet. Oh, my fault. We do have a Death Star on the planet. We just call it a military-industrial complex. Listen to that shit. All right, now, next, I'm going to go into what I wanted to talk about. Now, right now I'm giving lessons on what I call labeled the Millennium 7. I needed to develop a system that could be used wherever I go. So I had to change some of the words of the principal system of the Gusa Saba that I used and find some of the principles. Because one of the things that you find, all cultures have successful principles. And when you look at these principles, in order for a culture to be successful, it's certain traits that these principles got to share. Now, the principles that I extracted, most of them you gonna sound familiar to. You got unity, self-determination, respect, gratitude, purpose, creativity, and trust. Okay? Now, of course, you know I like to go into the words, and those of you that already been through this with me, please bear with me. When we talk about gratitude is the principle that I'm working on now. So, you know, I'm going to give you an assignment for those on the journey, and then we're going to get back into the music. Gratitude means to be thankful. To be thankful. Now, when I looked into the root of gratitude, when I looked at the definition of gratitude, it took me straight to the word grateful. To be grateful, to be thankful. Now, this is a very important principle to practice because we have to be thankful for the things we have. But when we go deeper into the roots of this word, we find the word gracious. So we got gratitude, which means being thankful, grateful, of course, thanking and being thankful. Then we got the word gracious, having a thankful attitude, a positive, affirming attitude when someone does something for you. The next step in that was I noticed that my kids are taking Spanish. Then I remember my old Spanish days, the word gracias came up. So we know that gracious and gracias, because gracias means thank you or thanks. Give thanks, right? When you say gracias, you giving thanks. learning to say thank you, learning to be polite, learning to have gratitude for all the things that you have. But the root word of all these is grace. Grace. What is grace? Once again, I already gave y'all the definition of grace. Grace means unearned favor. Unearned favor. Now, how many unearned favors have you had in your life? And the homework that I'm going to give for those that are seriously on the journey is very simple. But I'm going to come back to it because I have another song I want you to hear, and we're running out of time. So this is Erykah Badu, Master Teacher Medley. Check this one out. This is one of my favorite songs. Also, one of those lesson songs. Oh, I played Minnie the Moocher because I'll go into that in a couple of weeks. Because a lot of people have this attitude of entitlement. And Minnie the Moocher is a song about somebody who feels entitled. And I'm going to get into that a little bit later. And you can go back to some of my old podcasts where I talk about how dangerous dealing with people that feel that they are owed something. Because a lot of times when they feel they are owed, they feel that they deserve, they are not willing to practice gratitude. And they're not practicing gratitude. They not only rob the world, but they rob themselves. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. But here's a new song for you.
For me to find. Said it's just too hard for me to find. I'm in the search of something new. Searching and me searching inside you, and that's for real. What if there was no niggas, only master teachers? I'll stay woke. What if there was no niggas, only master teacher? I stay woke. What if there was no niggas, only master teachers? Now I stay woke. What if there was no niggas, only master teachers? Now I stay woke. Even if your baby ain't got no money to support you, baby, I stay woke. Even when the preacher tells you some lies and cheating on your mama, stay woke. Even though you go through struggle and strive to keep a healthy life, I stay woke. Everybody knows a black or white. There's preachers in every shape and size. I stay woke. Everybody, I stay woke. Everybody, I stay woke. Sing it, everybody, I stay woke. Everybody, body, body, beautiful world. Beautiful world. Beautiful world.
Beautiful world I'm trying to find. See, I've been in search of myself. Oh, it's just too hard for me to find. Said it's just too hard for me to find. 'Cause I'm in the search of something new. See, searching inside you, and that's the trill. What if there was no niggas, only master teachers? What if there was no niggas, only master teachers? What if there was no niggas, only master teachers now? What if there was no niggas, only master teachers? Oh, what if there was no niggas? stay woke. So master teacher. I stay woke. Teacher. I stay woke. I stay woke.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Baby sleeping, time to put her down. Now I'll be standing round until the sun down. I stay woke. I stay woke. I stay woke. I stay woke. Congregation nod their head and say amen. The deacon fell asleep again. I stay woke, but I stay woke. I stay woke. I stay woke. Lovers holding hands and falling deep in love and sleeping bags and conversation. Oh, I stay woke. I stay woke. I stay woke. I stay woke. Pretty rings and pretty things with shiny lights and little pieces of tomorrow. I stay woke. I stay woke. I stay woke. I stay woke. Oh, I stay woke. I stay woke. I stay woke. Baby sleeping, time to put her down, and I'll be hanging round until the sundown. Hey,
This brother Tim, I'm coming live from the Shisha Lounge. As you can hear, it's pretty crowded up in here. They got the music pumping. Come down and have a good old time. Support a community business, as well as make sure that you make it out to New Harvest tomorrow, because tomorrow we have JC and Friends. Now, this is a live jazz band, and I mean, you never know who's gonna pop up. Last time I was there, I got to see a black man play a tuba, and I never seen a black man play a tuba, and he played it to jazz, and that shit was hot. Now, let's get back into our conversation about gratitude and grace. Now, the assignment for those that are on a journey is to become what I call grace hunters. Now, the human being, as we know him today, according to science, has been around for over 250,000 years. Now, 99%, let's say 98%, of the time that we was on this planet, we was hunters and gatherers. Our minds and our spirits was shaped as hunters and gatherers. We hunted and we gathered. Now, what this means for those people listening is, as hunters and gatherers, there's certain aspects that we had to develop. As a hunter and gatherer, we had to learn to focus, because we couldn't lose attention in tracking the animals or we wouldn't eat. We had to develop endurance because we couldn't quit. We had to develop patience because a lot of hunting when you had to get close to something required a lot of patience. And last but not least, we had to develop empathy. This means we had to get inside of the animal's mind. And by being able to do this, what we did was we were able to predict what the animal was going to do. Now, ending this up real quick, what I want us to do, since our mind focuses on our brain, let me put it this way, our brain, what we focus it on is what it stays on. Right now, the world is focusing us on all these negative things that's going on around us. We focus on terrorism. We focus on the economic cliff. We focus on all this bullshit that's going on around us. I want those people on the journey for the next week, for the next month, I want you to find a grace. Find grace in your life and be grateful for that small little bit of grace you get. Remember, grace is nothing but an undeserved favor. How many undeserved favors do you get? I want you to start hunting and gathering grace. And then I want you to start giving out grace. Yes, you can give out grace. You can give out unexpected favors to people who don't necessarily deserve it. Now, I'm running out of time, so this is Brother Hatim, and I want to thank you for joining me on the journey. If there's any questions, you can hit me up on my blog, www.giamijourney.com. You can find me on Google Plus because I'm using that a whole lot more and I'm learning about it. Eventually, I'm going to be putting out some small books about how to monetize your blogs and how to use Google Plus and stuff like that, because I'm really getting into this stuff. And there's plenty of information out there. Also, hit me up on Twitter and hit me up on Facebook. All right? So build yourself, and thank you for joining the journey, and you have a wonderful and excellent night. Peace. You see people having a good time. Peace out. I'm going to give Spreaker a second to do their thing, and then I'm out.